Hola, mi amigos. Me llamo Estaps Comercio, and I'm back from 6-day vacay in Mexico. Spent unplugged and in the Mexican sun, but now I'm back ready to talk Veve and Ecomi. We just had a 2-hour AMA just a few days ago from Ecomi and Veve, and they dropped some pretty big updates, including some more push timelines, among many other things. Not everyone has 2 hours to give to listen to every little detail of these AMAs, so in this video I'm covering the key highlights, my thoughts, and breaking it down overall. Let's get it. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community, feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. Now, if you'd like to go and listen to the entire AMA, you can do so by going to Johnny Dunn's channel, which he did record this on February 18th. First key highlight that they touched on was actually this pretty awesome article from Vanity Fair, $1 billion boom NFT rainmakers, that came out on February 15th. It highlights OpenSea, which is now valued around $13.3 billion. It also highlights a few projects that are creating amazing NFTs, which included World of Women, and you'll recognize the second one, which is Rewind Collective, which is on creating the first NFT for LVMH, which is the umbrella company to Givenchy and a ton of other brands, alongside the world's largest NFT app, Veve. Big praise. They sold the world's first NFT for a beauty brand. Proceeds then went to L'Image Jeune in support of young LGBTQ plus people. Amar Singh is the artist and NFT entrepreneur who is behind Rewind Collective and everything he's doing with Veve. Singh is on track to secure $1 billion in NFT deals by 2024, and he owns 100% of all his operations. And we know that there is a multi-year deal, I think 6-year deal with Veve, which means there's 5 years left. And in this article, they reveal that the next drop from Givenchy is coming in March. Now, I did do a video on just how important the piece is Pride and how there will be another drop coming. I did say I did believe that it would be coming this month due to Black History Month, but it looks like I was off by just about a week and a half, and it's actually going to be coming on International Women's Day. So during the month of March, Veve will be releasing our second collaboration to celebrate Women's Month with multiple releases in the Veve app, which International Women's Day is on March 8th. So it would make sense that they do it sometime around that day, which is only roughly 2 weeks away. Again, this article in Vanity Fair, which Vanity Fair has 4.8 million followers, and this article was featured on their website. So a lot of eyes come to exactly what Rewind is building. And Vanity Fair seem to be pretty big fans of Veve based on the person who wrote it. Veve sprung from New Zealand, inking a deal last summer with Marvel, DC Comics, and Universal Pictures. Being a multi-billion-dollar franchise already, who doesn't want a piece of this pie? But one thing that Alex did say during the AMA was that this is from Rewind Collective, not Givenchy, not LVMH this time. So the next coming drop, it sounds like it's not going to have any tie to Givenchy, and it's simply going to be tied to Rewind Collective. But Rewind Collective is being a featured partner on OpenSea. They are going to be building their own brand, but that also shows why there's so much more power in Pride, because it does have that Givenchy logo to it. The next piece was that they did touch again on the changing of tags. Over the past few days, the past week, we have seen changes of many of the tags. They did also update a few CE tags like Captain Carter. So Captain Carter is no longer CE, it is FA. And one thing that Alex did bring up in the AMA is that we can actually see that Captain Carter's shield was actually shown in the poster for the Doctor Strange 2 movie that is coming out. You can see this is the poster, Multiverse of Madness. And in that fragmented glass is Captain Carter's shield. Now, why is this important? Because right now we're in a gem squeeze. Everything is way, way down, and people are asking, well, what should I stack? You want to look at things that are going to have a reiteration of spotlight on them, which Agent Peggy Carter has already been talked about as being in the next What If series, as well as clearly looks like she's going to be in the new Doctor Strange movie, which is coming out May 6th. Which is really only 2 months away. So think about the things that you want to stack based on when we'll actually see them as a larger character in the near future. Oh, the next piece. Oh, I was on vacation when this happened and I was seething. I was so upset by this. So as you heard, Chaosium announced they're suspending plans for future NFTs with Veve. They had a very large outcry from their tabletop gaming community, saying all the stereotypical things about NFTs, how they're bad for the environment and how this is a sellout opportunity. Everything you've heard coming from other communities, this is what happened. And they felt like they needed to have some kind of response to address that. And so they announced that they're suspending plans for future NFTs. I could not find the additional tweet, which came from Veve or Reverend Alex, but they did say on the AMA that Chaosium has not canceled the contract. We will see more Chaosium NFTs come to Veve, but they were set to come in Q2 of this year. Now it sounds like that is no longer the case. So we've seen the prices of the books and many others start to drop, which sucks because we've been waiting for something to happen with those books, right? We keep seeing more pages open and things happen with it, but it sounds like we're most likely not going to be seeing any more additional drops from Chaosium for quite some time. It's unfortunate to see because the reception for these collectibles were great. We actually really liked them. We were hoping that we're going to have some kind of tabletop gaming playable situation in Veve, which would make sense. It brought a ton of awareness to Chaosium, which most had not really heard of before this. But this kind of reaction definitely doesn't make me want to be more of a fan. So I hope that some of the minds of the fans do change. I hope Chaosium does start to kind of think, okay, well, maybe we need to evolve our fan base. Maybe we need to keep being progressive. And I was really happy to hear that Alex said that this is not a terminating agreement, but this does beg the question, what do the agreements look like for partnerships? Can licensors terminate those agreements before they launch the NFTs? We've heard NFLPA, we've heard Capcom, we've heard Monster Hunter, we've heard LL Surprise Dolls, we've heard all of these licensors for a long time, yet we haven't seen some of them come to fruition yet. So is it possible that some of them have terminated those agreements or no longer are going to be having content come to Veve? That is the question I wish I could have asked during the AMA. However, I was not able to attend. The next piece was pretty funny because we've seen all of the, if you're on Twitter, we see a bunch of people adding the pepper emoji to their names because of the spicy announcement that we were waiting for. And Alex came on and basically said, like, apologies. I was trying to say that there's going to be a lot more drops and that's the spicy surprise, not that there's going to be like a big, big drop. A lot of people were saying that this was him kind of playing with the market, trying to pump in his bags, which I don't think is the case, and he did say that's not the case. However, this kind of backpedaling I do think is just that, and I do think there is going to be another license that is maybe not like monstrous, but going to be still pretty big. And seeing this post from Veve today makes me think that, again, we've seen all this lead up to Black History Month. We've seen all of these comics come from Marvel and Disney. And I do believe that it makes sense that, hey, I said Lion King, Black Panther, and Nat Geo. I just want to throw out options, but I do think Black Panther will be coming. They did just announce a comic with Killmonger, but they don't really do promo videos for comics. So most likely we will see a Black Panther FA collectible drop of some kind. And then again, maybe a week or two after that, we're going to be seeing the next set of Givenchy. So I do think that the gem squeeze is going to continue to squeeze a little bit more until we actually see a dry period of not these big drops and we start to see some of the values return. So probably another 3 more weeks of winter that we're going to see these down prices, which means continue to stack while things are cheap before we go back to those highs that we were at a month ago. The next piece was an update on our active monthly users, which are now at 2.1 million active monthly users. Now, the last AMA that we had, 2 weeks ago? They said it was 1.9. So we've now jumped up to over 2 million. 3 months ago, we hit the 1 million mark. And then Alex went really, really into the bot piece, right? Because everyone cries bot. Everyone says there are so many bots in here. But they did touch on the fact that it is highest priority. They continue to crack down on bots. I've seen a ton of bots that are just selling things out because they keep getting more and more accounts banned. We've seen people come on and actually post things like, hey, I was botting, I got caught, 2 of my accounts were flagged today, 4 of my accounts were flagged today, 6. We've seen multiple people post things like that in Reddit and in Facebook. And we've also heard many people who are saying like, hey, I was flagged incorrectly, I was disabled, I've never botted. And Alex did say that over 90% of the accounts that have been falsely disabled tend to be using scripts, bots, auto clickers, a Theragun, some form of way where they are cheating the system. And the reason why many keep posting these things is because they want to keep cheating the system. You know how many messages I've received for people who are selling bots? They want to keep selling bots. It is making them a lot of money, and people feel like if I can't beat them, I'm going to join them. And then that happens is they get their account blocked. Now, again, there are still false positives. There are people who are getting banned who should not be banned. If that is the case, make sure you're submitting a ticket. And once you've done so, after you've not heard anything after like 10 days, you can actually come into the Veve official Discord. I guess you can create a ticket here actually, and disable reports. Just let them know, hey, this is my ticket number. I submitted 10 days ago. I have not heard back. What is going on in my account? You can do so in this thread. And you can also report bots. If you see bot activity, if you really feel like it is bot, go ahead and report their username and pictures here in this thread. Now, drops are hard, and they are just getting harder as our user base keeps growing. We first heard about the waiting room system really in grand detail back end of November. It is now almost end of February, and we still do not have the drop system. Originally, they did say that they hoped for it by end of year or early Jan, and we still don't have this in place. However, they did say it is still coming, but the updated timeline that Reese did say is they are going to be rolling it out onto less significant drops, kind of mixed in between normal drops, and that we'll most likely not have it completely take over all of the actual drop system until another 2 months. Now, that's a pretty long time, but I would rather than give us hopefully a realistic timeline that is 2 months out versus saying, oh yeah, actually it's coming the beginning of next month, and then we're still waiting 2 months. The next piece is they went really heavy into MTL, which is the money transfer license, the ability to cash out of the Veve app into currency, fiat. Reese did say that there is a MTL instructional article coming out this week, and that the next round of testers will be coming this week as well. And they'll be rolling out in small batches of users, so on and so forth as it continues down. Now, he did emphasize that it is going to be done in small batches of users rolled out. So we don't know how big these amount of users are, but we do know how many users we do have. Based on that, who knows when everyone will really have full access? It is being tested, but realistically, I don't see everyone having access anytime soon. But he did go very much into detail about how the process works, the fees, and everything else. In order to cash out, you will need to go through KYC that is done through a third-party vendor, and you'll be able to convert your gems in the Veve app to multiple currencies. He listed a number of them like USD, Canadian dollars, Euro, and many others. However, if you are not able to convert into your currency, most likely you're able to convert it with your bank. Now, one piece that you may not even realize is if you have access. And that's because there is certain thresholds tied to this MTL process. First of all, they did say a 1,000 gem minimum balance is required to activate the ability to cash out. So this is done in the Veve wallet. OMI.veve.me is where you're most likely going to be able to see this, not in the Veve app. I think they said that you have to minimum withdraw 50 gems, and the maximum is 50,000 gems every 7 days. It'll be a 10% fee to actually make that happen. So this is where a lot of people are getting mad. They're like, well, why would I have to pay 10% on top of everything else? Well, people are already cashing out of the app and doing so for 60 cents to 70 cents on the dollar. So people are already choosing to get out of the app and eating that massive cost. Now, if you move forward with turning your gems into fiat, it is up to a 5-day approval time that Veve will take. And then it's another 7 to 14 days for your money to arrive in your account. They did say that this is done through Swift systems. So basically, if you're going to cash out in large amounts, right? Because it is definitely a long process. But one thing you also want to consider is also that does make it a taxable event. Now, I'm not a tax expert, consult with your tax experts, but Reese did say in this AMA that without MTL, it is not a taxable event. So yes, you're buying and selling collectibles, but it is for in-app currency. And so until you actually cash out, that is what makes it a taxable event in his opinion. Again, check with your tax experts, But that is something to consider, right? Because you want to consider long-term gains versus short-term capital gains depending on what country you live in. Now, they didn't give a hard, this is when MTL is going to be completely rolled out. But again, I don't think it's going to happen really, really fast. I think it's going to continue to have this kind of slow draw because they want to make sure that it's done very compliantly. They want to make sure that there are no issues. That's why they're doing it in small groups and kind of rolling out from there on. MTL is top priority. We wish it was already here, but we're going to continue to see waves of users, but make sure that you meet those thresholds to make sure that you actually have access versus don't. We also got an update from Reese on what is going on with the exchanges and the migration of GoChain-based OMI to ERC20 OMI. We were supposed to see the end of Lunar New Year, Gate.io and OKX completely migrated, and it still has not happened. So Reese said he's still waiting for them to give the final okay, but you can buy Go-based OMI and ETH-based OMI still on Bitforex. So if you're going to be buying OMI on Bitforex, I would make sure that you're doing so on the ETH-based OMI. And on Ascendex, you can only buy ERC-based OMI. Now, many have moved their OMI over to the Veve app wallet, which is L2-based OMI, which in order to sell OMI, you need to have L1-based OMI. So if you try to send that L2 OMI to an exchange, it's not going to take. So Reese did say that the bridge is still coming soon, but in the interim, there is a way to do so with Immutable X, which I'm not familiar with. So Reese said he will be dropping an article on how to do so very soon. So if you're trying to get some of your OMI out of the Veve app to sell, that article will be coming soon. Reese did talk a little bit more about the token, which if you have not seen the price of OMI, it is down dramatically. And I believe part of that is because one thing that they did say is that they're still waiting for the exchanges to respond on where they are in the queue or however it is worked with their partnership. So someone asked about exchanges and it was really not a confirmation of timeline. Because of that, it does sound like that is getting drawn out even further, which is crazy to me because we've been waiting on exchanges since summer. It sounds like we're probably not going to be getting them sometime until March, which means that the token price, since there is no OMI utility coming anytime soon, since the exchanges are being pushed to next month, price will most likely continue to trade down unless we get a rebound in this market, in my opinion. Now, token.veve.me is where you can see the OMI token tracker. You can see the reserve wallet balance, the vault wallet balance, the token burn balance. And Reese did say we are seeing the token supply dwindle substantially. The next big update that we got that I was actually pretty excited about is they touched on notifications again. They're refactoring the back end to allow for notifications and will be asking the community on what other notifications we want to see in the Veve app. The big pieces that we do obviously already want to see is notifications on when the market is reopened, service updates, items sold, auction ending soon, and new drop announcements. Another big piece that I feel like this is asked every single AMA, every single time, is when are we going to be able to display our comics? Again, Alex did not give a hard timeline, but said it is coming really soon. He's seen what they look like in display cases. They look really cool in his opinion. So these will be rolled out soon, and no, this is not what they look like, but I'm just giving an example of what display cases look like. And so it will show the covers of your comics. You will not be able to read them in the vault. So you can still cast them in AR, but in your vault, you will not be able to read them. The technology does not allow it. Really, really solid question. Someone asked, how can a 13-year-old or up to 18-year-old cash out with MTL? Because they don't have a bank account, right? Like, how do they go about doing so? And this one is actually stumped Reese. He's like, I need to find that out, and I'll need to put that into the MT article that is coming out soon. So for those who have kids and family members who are under 18 but over 13, we're waiting to find out exactly how they'll be able to use MTL to cash out. There might be some kind of parental controls or some kind of settings to allow this to happen. Another solid question was, hey Reese, when are we going to be able to actually sell some of our Veve collectibles in the Immutable X marketplace? Now, Reese didn't have an answer on when, but he did say that they are waiting for the integrations to come through with Immutable X, right? We've already seen that we're getting an integration from them to OpenSea. We're seeing they're starting to integrate with more marketplaces. One thing that they need to actually come through with is the integration with Veve as well. So it sounds like we're just waiting on Immutable X. Now, we have seen a bunch, and it's either people making mistakes or new users making mistakes, but we've seen a bunch every single drop of $2, $12 on golden moments, on so many different collectibles where people are accidentally listing things way cheaper than they mean to. And that ruins some people's days, weeks, months, making that kind of mistake. So someone asked, are we going to be able to have like a secondary message that pops up like, are you sure you want to list for this price? They did say that this feature will be coming in the web wallet, which again, we don't know when exactly the web wallet is going to be coming, but that it will help with mis-sells with that extra piece. The next piece was an interesting one from Alex and the person who asked. They asked if there's going to be more golden moments coming to Veve, because we did not expect to see more golden moments come because Alex had said he didn't think we were going to see another one in a tweet or on the Discord or something like that. And we obviously did. We saw obviously the Valentine's gold moments drop from Disney. And Alex clarified this is that we don't expect to see more golden moments come from Disney. However, if Disney chooses to create more golden moments, then we could see more. So my bet is we'll most likely see more. However, he did say that there will never be any that are tied to Disney Plus subscriptions like the OGs. So that does show that there is a lot more value tied to the original ones just because they had added utility, because they were the first. So we probably won't ever have the full list of all of the golden statues and all the Disney parks, but we could see more Disney moments further down the line. Someone asked about the Veveverse. Are we on track? Is it still coming? Where are we on it? And Alex straight up just said, this is a Dan question. He doesn't touch the Veveverse. He knows that they are making progress on it, or that it is in development, but he didn't have enough information to really share on it. So originally it was an AMA, I think back in like October or September, and Dan did say that we would probably seeing it in the next 6 months, which would put it around the end of April. I don't think that's very realistic. We'll probably see this in Q3 of this year, so hopefully by summertime. But honestly, I think the app needs a whole lot of uplift. I think there are so many other things that need to happen before the Veveverse comes that I'm okay with us not being here anytime soon. Once we can cash out, once you can have the app in multiple languages, once you have the app in web format, all of these things need to happen before we actually go into this metaverse world that is going to make that so much easier. Silicon Secure, great member of the community, asked a really awesome question around if we can have visibility around how many actual accounts have been banned, how many collectibles have been taken from those banned accounts that now belong to Veve, and if they can update the total editions that are basically in existence that are not tied to Veve, and which edition numbers they are, because some people collect only edition numbers of certain collectibles, so they don't know if Veve is sitting on these because they were confiscated from bots. The answer was they don't really know how to provide that information, but that they will be doing giveaways or something with the actual banned accounts that are keeping those collectibles. Someone also actually asked about how there's a difference in seeing that max supply of 750 billion, the circulating supply is at 166 billion, and the difference between the price as well as the difference in circulating supply between CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. And they touched on the fact that they are already in works with them on getting the APIs worked out between OMI that is GoChain based, ERC20 OMI, as well as wrapped OMI, because that is why there is so much difference between how these are tracked in between these. So the next piece was the OMI Utility article version 0.2. Reese originally said, I think about a month ago, maybe longer, that we were going to be having this really, really soon, and we still have not yet had it. We have heard that there are going to be additional staking tiers, which in this AMA, Reese did say that the only thing he's waiting on is Dan to basically confirm the additional staking tiers. I imagine what rewards and added things you're going to be getting with the additional tiers. And the last question is, we've heard this before, but when will more social features be coming to the app, right? When will we be able to friend each other easily? When will we just have better UI that makes the app more of a social app? They did say that more social features are coming, but of course, no hard date on when, but they did say we'll be able to DM each other, we'll have a chat function, private listings, trading. And this is something that I think is going to really help with the app and retention as well. Alex G at Marketing did say this is something he very much wants, since this is kind of his department as well. But I think it'd be really cool also if we had some tie to social media function as well. Overall, pretty solid AMA in terms of how many updates we got, right? Realistically though, I do think some of the timelines are pretty blended. It's more of just kind of like, well, we'll see when we'll see. And that's why we continue to see the price of OMI fall, among many other things like whole crypto market is down. But it's really gotten to a point where trying to actually time when things are going to happen with Veve and Ecomi has become pretty much impossible because there are so many factors that they're waiting on partners and testing and all these things that just do not happen overnight, in a month, multiple months. And the fact that they did say that they're still waiting on the exchanges, the queue or whatever it was, that does mean most likely we'll see the price of OMI continue to drop a little bit, which the good news is we're seeing the amount of drops continue to go up, which means more OMI will burn. It means you have more time to stack OMI to get higher bags to qualify for some of these higher staking tiers. So we will see uplift when the exchanges are announced, but remember, how many times were you saying when we were at like 0.07 or higher, man, I really wish I loaded up at 0.005 or below? Or when all the collectibles were sky high last month, how many times were you saying, oh, I knew I should have bought this collectible last month when it was this price, or I knew I should have stacked up on these? Well, now you have that opportunity on both. We know the OMI token will continue to rise again, as it always has, since all of its catalysts are still in front of it. And we know the Veve collectibles will continue to go back to their highs because they continue just hitting new plateaus, dip, plateau, dip, plateau. There are ebbs and flows in every single market. With the gem squeeze and OMI price, we are in a strong ebb right now. And that's realistically when you want to take advantage by buying these lower prices so that way you're ready for the next flow to sell them. As always, I hope you found my content valuable. If so, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. The likes and comments appease the algo overlords and help my channel continue to grow. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell for future content. That's it today. That's it for today. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, man. Happy trading.